Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to ROAS Brez sit-down video. I'm going to be breaking down exactly the agency sales funnel that I use to generate hundreds of clients over the past couple of years, as well as well over 7 figures in the last couple of years. So I'm going to be breaking it all down visually for you guys here today. I know this is a different style video than I usually do, but it's going to be a lot of sauce within this video. So grab your notebooks, grab your pen, get ready to take some notes, and let's dive right into it. So first things first here. This is going to be breaking down where exactly our leads come from and how we then handle, manage, and close those leads. So 2 different ways that my agency personally drives traffic. Now, this may be different for you guys, considering a lot of you guys probably watching this video aren't driving any sort of inbound leads. For me, all of our traffic that has came from the agency up until more recently has basically been all inbound. From me posting content, me building the personal brand that I have, leads come to us, we don't have to go to them. For you guys, that's not quite the case. So this is gonna be a little different from your guys' typical scenario, but there's a lot you can take from this and implement into your own business, your own freelance brand scaling business, your own agency, and use. So like I said, take some fucking notes. Get ready for this information. It's gonna be a lot of sauce. So first things first here. 2 ways that leads come into my agency. Number 1, our agency DMs, and number 2, applying on our website. So if we look at our agency account, it's not very optimized right now. We're getting around to that. We've just been so overwhelmed with other things. We wanna make this look a lot better because we have 15.7 thousand followers on this account. There's a lot of traffic being driven to this account and we're not maximizing it. So we definitely need to optimize this, but a lot of people just go to this just from it being in the bio of my personal account that has 550,000 followers or something like that. Everyone knows what I do for a living. They know that I run ads for businesses. They come to this account and they DM. We have a DM setter inside of these DMs. As I wrote out here, we have a DM setter inside of those DMs, managing and basically passing those leads along to a phone setter. But if we backtrack, the other way that we generate leads is through an application on our website. So if we look at our website, which also is currently in the process of being rebuilt, this website is pretty shit. I've spent a bunch of money on a software developer to build us a new website, so that's gonna be up soon, you guys will see that. But we have a form here on this website where people can apply to work with us. This is just a type form that's integrated into the website that automatically spits into Go High Level. So we have automations for this type form set up to where, based off of their answers, it automatically disqualifies them or qualifies them. So assuming they're qualified, they go into the qualified pipeline where then they're reached out to by a phone setter. So it spits into Go High Level, it either automatically disqualifies them and we don't touch those leads because we're not gonna waste our time with leads who don't have the budget to work with us or whose brands are shit, whatever. So qualified leads automatically spit into Go High Level and the setter basically double checks those leads, looks at their brand, looks at the Instagram, looks at their website, looks at their business overall, makes sure that it's something that would be qualified to work with us. Assuming it is, then they get dialed by the phone setter. So again, if we backtrack back towards the agency DMs side of things, you can see the leads were forwarded to a phone setter. All of this all funnels down and gets dialed by the phone setter. So the phone setter's job here is solely just to dial the leads that come in that are qualified, basically re-qualify them over the phone, make sure that it's a good fit for working with us, and their job is solely just to book in leads for the closer. Now, the closer's job, as most of you probably know watching this video, is basically just again to reassure that those leads that are booked in by the setter are qualified to work with us, and then actually go about closing those leads and onboarding them as a client of the agency. So they get booked in with the closer. Usually those calls with the closer are anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. Assuming that lead is closed on that call, obviously, you know, they're gonna do more discovery about the business, more discovery about the business owner's goals, what they wanna do, how our goals align with their, or how our service aligns with their goals and how we can help them achieve those goals. Now, when it comes to the closer's pitch, pricing structure, that's a big thing. You guys have always asked me, how do you charge these clients? Multiple different ways to charge these clients. Let's say it's an e-com niche client, right? Number 1, retainer. This could be anywhere from $500 a month to $5,000 a month. It just depends on the size of the business, what they've got cooking. Oh my gosh, fucking supercars in the background. Anyways, any sort of retainer depending on the size of the business and how qualified I guess they are. Number two, performance-based, 10% of the revenue that you generate them. Very, very simple. This is kind of the go-to for most people. It's just best to work off of a percentage that you generate, because then the client on their end knows, okay, if this guy's only working based off of the results he gets me, I'm only paying him based off of the results he gets me. If he doesn't give me results, I don't have to pay him a lot of money. So boom, works out perfectly. Next, percentage of ad spend. This is kind of similar to the revenue you generate, just based off of the percentage of ad spend, and that's usually pretty, applicable there, considering the fact that the more you're spending on an account, the more work it's going to be for you and the more maintenance it's going to require. So then you could mix these together like my agency does, and we'll get into that. But you can mix these together in whatever way you want. But the main thing with pricing is just structuring it in a way that it's going to make closing clients easy. And this is going to be the hardest to do so. Retainer is always going to be the hardest to close clients on, because they are paying you upfront out of pocket without having any trust built with you, or without having any reason to pay you upfront out of pocket, unless your pitch is really fucking good and they want to do it. But again, actually not again, I didn't say that yet. You could have optional setup fees as well, stacked on top of these. Let's say 10% of revenue you generate plus a $300 setup fee. That way you're collecting a little bit of cash up front. You're more incentivized to do the work. And you're still working based off of performance. I don't know any single lead that's probably going to raise an objection off of 10% of the revenue you generate plus a $300 setup fee. What is $300 at that point? Now, getting into service-based pricing structure. Retainer, again, same thing, $500 to $5,000. Depends on the product they're selling, how much it costs, how much revenue you think you can generate, and how qualified the business is. Next, performance-based. Per lead, this would be, instead of revenue that you generate, which isn't necessarily trackable through a service-based business's sales funnel, you're going to charge them per lead that you generate them. So for example, $200 per deal. Let's say it's a car detailing company, right? Their average job is around $200. That's about what they make off of each closed lead. So realistically, you would probably want to charge them $5 to $10 per closed lead, or per lead that you generate them. So let's say you generate them 300 leads in a month, you would make $3,000 if you're charging them, $10 per lead. Now, percentage of ad spend, 15 to 20%. Again, same thing as e-com based. It's just percentage of ad spend for a service-based business. Now, again, you can mix these, and then again, you can stack optional setup fees. So getting into my agency structure, this video is kind of about my agency sales funnel, is we used to work a lot off of this up until about 5 months ago. We switched to collecting a little bit of cash up front with how many employees and such we have to pay out. We want to know that we have some recurring revenue coming in for the agency automatically. So what we do, and we just want to be able to collect a little bit of cash up front, it just makes paying out salespeople easier. But for example, we usually do a $1 to $2K a month recurring retainer fee that's paid up front. A lot of our clients are, bigger clients, more qualified to pay that. What is $1,000 to $2,000 to a business that's already doing $100K a month? As for you guys, a lot of you beginners, this is going to be a lot harder to get away with when you're trying to sign those smaller clients who don't have $1,000 to $2,000 to just throw out left and right at you to pay for marketing services. So you, in your beginning stages, it could look maybe more like a $500 recurring retainer fee. Plus then we charge 15% of ad spend. So let's say we have a client that we spend $20,000 in a month with. We would get that $2K a month recurring retainer fee paid up front at the beginning of the month. So $2K, and then what did I say, $20,000? So what would that be, $3,000? I think, yeah, $3,000 off of the 15% of ad spend. So we made $5K off that client. Boom, easy. Now, going back to the mirror board here, again, to kind of summarize this, 2 ways that we drive leads. For you guys, it's different because a lot of your leads are going to be going outbound. So don't necessarily take all this information with a grain of salt, but think about how you can use this information and how I've leveraged this funnel to be able to close clients and how you could implement that going outbound. But then moving to our onboarding process. Once a client is closed, how do we go about the next steps? What do we do? So obviously I'm at a stage now with my agency where we're operating full-fledged, right? We have employees in all different areas, people doing their own jobs. You don't. So for me, I'm going to talk about what my agency does. That's what this video is about. We close a client, we send them a Google form, basically having them submit all of their information about their business, their email, what their goals are, obviously like their brand name, just all that basic information we need to then be able to go ahead and set them up an actual Slack channel. So what is Slack if you don't know? Slack is a platform that we use for communication with all of our clients. It's kind of like similar to Discord, I guess. Pretty damn similar to Discord, to be honest. It's just more like work oriented, more professional, like corporate oriented. So we use that to communicate with the team as well as all of our clients. So we have them fill that out. Once that's filled out, we have a Zapier automation set up to automatically create a Slack and assign that client to one, an account manager, and two, a media buyer. Now, what are an account manager and a media buyer? An account manager is basically the person who manages the communication bridge between the client and the media buyer. The media buyer is the one who's actually inside of the ad account running the ads for that client. So every time we have a client close, they get assigned to one of our account managers and one of our media buyers. Those two work together on that client. Again, the account manager manages all of the communication between the client and the media buyer. The media buyer is the one who runs that. So the account manager, to dumb this down, his job is basically just to constantly make sure that the client is always happy, always getting responded to quick, always knows what's going on, always just making sure that they have someone that they can talk to and get questions answered when they need questions answered. And then the media buyer's job is just to actually run the ads for the client, get the campaigns up, and do the back end stuff. So after that, Zapier automation automatically sets up the Slack channel and assigns them to an account manager and a media buyer. The client gets an invitation to that Slack channel. That's where all further communication goes. Now, again, I already said this, assign a media buyer and account manager. They then, inside of that Slack channel, get sent a Calendly link to book, who's calling me? Book an onboarding with the account manager. So the Calendly link is sent over to the client and they book an onboarding meeting with the account manager. And on that onboarding meeting, they're going to go over everything in regards to kind of their goals, what the process of getting things set up is going to look like. They basically get the ad account set up, get the media buyer inside of the ad account, just get everything set up and ready to go. They get all the content from the client, etc. Client can ask any sort of questions. They can go over game plans for content, just everything needed to know. I can maybe make a video in the future breaking down exactly more of the onboarding process, but this is kind of just the outline of like the sales funnel. So then everything gets forwarded over to the media buyer after that call. The content plan, the strategy, maybe if they have any sort of exclusive offers they're gonna go over, etc. So then the way the Slack is set up, and I believe I have something up here, I do, I'll get into that in a second. I got viruses, I guess, on my computer. Okay, so the way that the Slack is set up with the client is we have one channel with the client, one channel without the client, and just the team. So inside of the channel without the client would be myself, Mason, obviously, our account manager, our media buyer. Mason is my business partner for those of you who are new around here. But everything is set up in here for us to be able to communicate internally about this client. Stuff that the client doesn't need to know we're talking about, but stuff we need to talk about that client. So say the client has, what's an example here? Say the client has some new content he sends over. The account manager would send that into this channel without the team and basically be like, yo, media buyer, he needs this, this, and this done. Boom. He sees that, gets it done. Text back in the channel with the client, yo, it's live. So from there then, after all that's set up, we're good to go, everything goes live. Now diving more into my Slack and how it internally operates, we have some of our just general channels with the team, pretty straightforward. Account manager's channel, team general chat, team media buying, team wins, team announcements, team BM creatives internal. This would be with our creative team who makes creatives for our clients. Team general, team help ticket, team resources, team wing, VA agency. Our VA agency is, we have like some VAs who do different things for us. One, cold dialing to outbound leads. We've started to do outbound more recently with the agency, cold dialing, as well as outbound on social media. Obviously with my social media presence, outbound is a lot easier for me than it would be for a lot of you guys when, you know, I outreach a client and they see my profile and see what I do and see the social proof that I have. It makes that a lot easier. But definitely not a bad thing to look into if you guys are to maybe hire some VAs, cold dialers, social media outreach, so on and so forth. But for the most part, I think that kind of covers everything as far as my sales process. I guess let me know. I kind of like this style of video. Very easy to film, very easy to kind of just drop a whole bunch of sauce and just click upload. So I can bang these videos out. Let me know down in the comments what types of, if you guys like this video style, as well as future videos like this that I can make. What other topics do you want me to cover? What other stuff do you want me to break down? Did you like the way that I broke down visually? Just give me some feedback on this video and this style. Let me know if you guys liked it. If you guys are interested in joining the ERT, which if you haven't, why the fuck are you not in there? Link is in the description. Go apply. My free training is also in the description. And follow me on all my socials. Hopefully this helps. Subscribe, like, and comment down below. Peace.